2026 teams have been announced, Brian, for Vegas. The opening matches will feature the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, St George Illawarra, Newcastle and the Cowboys. The Bulldogs, okay.
Solid.
I'm reaching out. So it says this, right? And this has come through NRL.com. The Bulldogs will face the Dragons. The Knights will play the Cowboys, while Hull KR will play against Leeds in the Super League encounter. The NRL announced the schedule of matches to be played at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. This will happen on local time, Saturday, February 28. Here, it'll be Sunday, the 1st of March in Australia. Brian, can I just send something to you?
Do I have to go? Yeah, sorry.
It
the mic's still on?
It appears to me to be so obvious.
Yep.
Canterbury going, Dragons going, Cowboys going, Knights going, tick, 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 tick.
Yep.
Great fan base. Why would you burn? In fact, I'll ask you it this way. What's the biggest fixture of these four? If you had to say...
Dogs and Bulldogs.
Dogs and who?
Dragons.
Sorry, Dogs and Dragons.
Yeah. Okay. So why would you burn that game there? People are going to go anyway. If you're a Bulldogs fan, you're going anyway. If you're a Dragons fan, you're going anyway. If you're a Knights fan, you're going. If you're a Cowboys fan. Why would we burn a premier match like the Bulldogs and the Dragons?
You mean wasting the gate here?
In Vegas. We don't need to do it.
Yeah.
We do not need to do it. We need 2 times in Australia. We need the Bulldogs to play the Dragons, right? Both home and away.
Gotcha.
Why would we burn? Surely that cannot happen.
Well, it is now.
But we don't need. What does that add? If you're a Newcastle fan, you're going. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're going. If you're a Dragons fan, Bulldogs fan. Why are we burning a premier fixture like the Bulldogs and the Dragons? Why?
The only way you could do it is if you share gate at the second game, and the Dragons, it might be their home game. They're not playing at Wynn. They're not playing at Cogra. They play at Allianz, and make up the 18,000, 19,000 by getting 32, 33 at Allianz, or even going to a core and getting your 35, 40 out there maybe. If both teams are doing well next year, you might be like, damn it, we could have had 2 fixtures.
Yeah, but they would have asked all 4 teams.
Yeah.
They've asked them, and they said, listen, Canterbury, you're going to play the Dogs. You're going to play the Dragons. You happy with this? Dragons, you're going to play the Dogs. Are you happy to go?
Yeah, but if that's their appetite, of course they're going to say yes. But really,
no, but
if the Dragons play the Cowboys and the Knights play the Bulldogs, do you lose any crowd going there? Do you?
Probably not. No,
none. So why are we burning a premier game?
Don't know. Can't tell you why.
And Brandy made a very good point today. And to be fair, it's not about us trying to grow the game in America. Okay, so they had Mr. Vincent on who was on the program with Vossi and Brandy this morning, which, by the way, I've got to share something with you, which I found was very clever from Vossi. Why do we need to do this, Brian? Like why?
Well, we've got to have... Eventually, there's going to be... Everyone's going.
But why are we going there?
What do they usually average? What's the Dogs and Dragons usually average? So,
it'd be 20, bang on 20, wouldn't it be? It'd be bang on about 20.
They're filling Cogra or Win if they play there, and they're what are they getting at a core? 30? Probably 30s at least?
I think you're reading too much into this, Shug.
It's a big rating game too now.
I think you're reading too much.
I don't think I am.
So did you want, for example, you wanted Canterbury to play Melbourne?
No, I'm happy with the 4 teams going there.
But you wanted the Dragons to play the Knights?
Yeah, I just think the 4 teams going there, it's great fun going to Vegas. And if you're a fan of those teams, you want to be there. Bulldogs are going to be down the strip. Maybe they'll be the most represented. Dragons will be very well represented. So too Knights and also Cowboys. But I'm saying don't burn the Dragons and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, which would be the highest rating game of all of them. Like you're taking Sandwell Beach already. What Brandy was saying before, which I agree with totally, but it depends on what your modus operandi is. So Brandy was saying about...
but sure, sorry, it's going to rate anyway.
Yeah.
It rates off its tits anyway.
Thank you. I agree.
But are you just talking about crowds?
No.
Or are you talking about TV ratings?
No, I'm agreeing with exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to rate anyway.
Correct.
Right. Okay, so if it's going to rate anyway, what do you reckon in round 8 later in the year would rate higher? Dragons and Cowboys, who they could be playing that game over there, or Dragons and Bulldogs?
I couldn't tell you.
Yes, you could.
No, I couldn't.
You're being naive now.
No, the ratings are pretty good anyway. Like
where?
I had a look.
Vegas ratings.
No. I'm saying across the board anyway. Rugby league is flying. I had a look at the ratings. It was about a month ago.
Yeah.
And even now, supposed ranked games, are still rating really well.
Yeah, I agree. Brooks, do you know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're saying.
You want two of those
Okay.
Bulldogs Dragons
All right,
games in
okay.
Australia, in Sydney.
If I said to you,
You don't want to take a big
I-
marquee game to Vegas.
if I said to you, you got $1 for every person who turned up, right? And you've already got those 4 teams locked into Vegas, wouldn't you rather have Dragons and Bulldogs up your sleeve?
Because the event's big enough, you don't need to put the big marquee games there. Is that what? And because we're opening the season,
Are you
there.
calling a Dogs Dragons game marquee?
100% with the fans in terms of ratings. If they both,
If either team
at their
hosted,
best, that's a massive matchup.
Okay.
Brian, if either team hosted the Cowboys or the Knights, what do you think would rate higher?
Yeah, it'd be because there's no AFL, and that's why it's been. No, what I'm saying
That's
is,
yeah.
no, there is no sport. That's why their ratings were through the roof because we're the only sport,
Yep.
other than rugby, playing on that weekend. But I just can't see where you're trying to get at. Canterbury versus St George Illawarra Dragons.
Yeah.
Are you talking about people going to the game physically, or are you talking about sitting at home watching it?
I'm saying you are burning a game with those two. You're going to get, whether you're sitting at home or whether you're at Vegas, you're going to get the same numbers.
I just don't want to talk about this any longer because I think it's futile.
Oh, mate.
I think it's futile. What's to say that the Dragons or the Bulldogs next year are shit in round 8?
What's to
People
say?
aren't gonna watch.
Yeah, but that argument's the same. Like, what's to say they're not coming first or second? Like, that's a stupid argument. We don't know.
I just don't think if it was South and East, if
Yep.
the Roosters were playing, I could understand where you're going with that because it's going to be 45,000, 50,000 actually walk up. Ratings will be great. I just don't know why you care about Canterbury versus St George Illawarra.
Doggies fans, Bulldogs fans. Brian saying that your
Dragons fans.
matchup is worth
No, I'm not.
nothing.
I'm not saying. I'm saying it's a good matchup, and it might be a good matchup in round 8,
Yeah.
but it's not one of those big blockbuster games.
Oh,
Canterbury versus South Sydney, Good Friday, big game.
Yes.
They're not going to blow that one.
agree.
But this one, Dogs versus St George Illawarra, I'm sorry.
Really?
You're not getting 60,000 there.
Fletch,
Oh.
if Bulldogs Dragons was Good Friday, you're getting similar numbers.
It's all about the
Get
it's all about the
real.
bunnies, mate.
Come on. No, then it would be.
all
No,
about
he
the
wants the
bunnies.
Brian. He wants the
Yeah.
Brian
Yeah, the Brian
Fletcher
Fletcher
Shield,
Cup,
right?
yeah.
The Brian Fletcher Cup. There we go. Anyway, from the
I don't know.
Bulldogs website.
Why are we even discussing this?
Oh yeah, mate,
Vegas is.
you know what? You know what sounds strange? I've had this kind of argument before with certain people, and when it starts to go, why are we discussing it? Yeah, move on. Okay, I understand that.
Okay, all right. Are you happy that Leeds are playing Hull KR, or do you want St Helens there?
Couldn't give a rat's.
Well, there you go. That's exactly my
Yeah.
sentiments only with the other
Yeah,
games.
couldn't care.
I could not give a rat's ass. I've still got to go. I've still got to shoot shit. And I've still got to eat
Shoot
and watch
shield.
Hindy lose all that money in that Frankenstein game.
Brian's there for the shoot shield. From the Bulldogs website, the Bulldogs have been named as the home team. Haven't we already done this? There you go. So, sorry? Okay, thank you, Tourist. So they'll be the home side. Mal Meninga, by the way, on the Bears job, he has been with Cos and Heels on SENQ Breakfast this morning. Speaking about the possibility of taking over the Bears role, here is Malcolm Meninga.
That just come about just recently, to be honest with you. So I'm just tampering, or not tampering, but tinkering with the opportunity maybe to go back into clubland to finish off my life cycle in rugby league. So I've been thinking about it for a number of years, and I've intimated to the game that obviously I've got the Australian gig, and I'm really happy about the Australian gig. I've got another 2 years. We've got the Ashes at the end of the year, plus the World Cup over here next year. So, but I'm tinkering with the idea that I love an opportunity to go back into clubland to sort of finish off my rugby league circle, I guess. The Perth Bears, they've got their own state. Obviously there's a lot of things you need to do around, your preparation, your development, your pathway programs, but there's a real opportunity over there to, promote the game of rugby league. I've decided my opportunity to get back into clubland and be, the main person, be the person, the head coach that builds the foundation of a new entity, So I feel that that's a huge challenge. We all know that, and you mentioned, Cos, that there's not a lot of time to do this to get it up and running for 2027. So if they do make a decision, and I'm the right man to do it, obviously under the right conditions, I'd be going to get straight into it.
So that was Mal this morning on SENQ up there. later on the Jimmy Smith show, he had this to say.
I guess throughout my sporting career, I've had the urge to do community work, and I think I've really worked hard on that aspect. My 16 years in Canberra, and the thing about that is that I was, I guess, a public figure, and I was put on the podium where I was just a person out there making sure that I was. I'm buggered. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I have to resign.
So. We were supposed to have it shorter there, tourists. The first bit didn't really work. Anyway, Mal's going to be coach of the Bears, and
Really? I like it.
And I'm cheering for him.
What, you're still here? Well, you can see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio, you beautiful humans.